So I think that expressing ourselves is really important. And but I'm not trying to be a YouTuber, as they say, but I really do actually have come to that point where I just want to like tell people what I've experienced in my decades and the things that I've learned and done for myself. And so um, I just think I wanted to say that I think it's awesome that there's platforms in the world, that these different ones where people can just like do videos or share what they're thinking or feeling and stuff. And I mean, yeah, being funny and all that is amazing, and entertainment is important to our heart and our laughter. Um, so yeah, I think it's all great, but I think it's wonderful to have a platform, okay, a place where I can just say, um, I can just teach people. I can just show and teach and tell and whatever things that have helped me, or what I've, experienced, and see if it can help anybody. Because I guess that's kind of what I've been doing my whole life. Like my bachelor's degree in music therapy, I was a intern first for 6 months. It was a 6-month internship, and I did music therapy sessions. It was like basically a job, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or 8 to 5 probably, at actually a state psychiatric hospital. So it was super cool. And I'm not going to tell you what year that was. Should I tell you what year that was? Anyway, so music therapy. And so, but that was all about, obviously, is using music as a therapeutic tool. So it's just, it was cool because sometimes in the groups you could do like, the goal was different for each maybe group or for each activity. But sometimes in our schooling, the behavioral method was a little bit like a goal could be a behavioral goal, such as having the person smile 2 times, instigate a smile, or, I mean, that sounds stupid, or positive self affirmation or positive self remarks or something like, so like if the activity was designed around. But anyways, I guess my point is to say, it wasn't about speaking. It wasn't a speaking therapy. It was music therapy, but it could be using music as a therapeutic tool to maybe help somebody be expressive verbally. But if not, then usually that wasn't the goal. Just sometimes it was the goal. What am I saying? All details. I like details. I'm a detail-oriented person. But I was going to say, so I did music therapy as a job, and I also did music teaching, like forever. I always have lots of music teaching. I taught private viola, private violin, and piano. I taught beginner piano, which I actually loved teaching beginner piano. What else am I saying? So that was a helping thing that I've always done, like teaching and helping, right? So music therapy is more in the therapeutic mindset, but music teaching is more in the teaching mindset. And actually, side note, I remember having students that were like, because I would be like, blah, 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 is that okay? And this happened a few times, and the student, young person, school age, would be like, I don't know, you're the teacher. And I was like, yeah, because I'm coming from a therapeutic mindset all the time, right? I was like acting like a therapist when I was teaching sometimes, but that's kind of funny. But anyway, so now all this more time has gone by, and everything I've done in my life, but also you may or may not know that like in my 20s, when I was doing like music school, symphony playing, music teaching, and probably other odd jobs on the side, whatever. And so I really started having at a point like really bad body tightness, and there would be pain. The pain could be maybe in the back of my neck. It could be, usually it was maybe more neck or back related as opposed to arms or hands, but arms and hands did play a role sometimes, which makes sense because if you're, the wrong hand up, but like if you're, in a position, repetitive motion with your arms, and I'm sure that this is prevalent in orchestral musicians. But anyway, everything that I've been through has been awesome because I've done some things where I taught myself things, or done things where I learned something or did some type of a schooling or education that then gave me skills and stuff. But just applying these to myself, and now knowing, well, I'm going to say about 10-ish years or 10 or less years ago, I went through a little period of time where I discovered that if I do something for a short amount of time, so like 10 minutes, then if it was just a little bit of like simple yoga or, and then of course I've included acupressure because I just think it feels amazing, and I just love acupuncture philosophy, acupoints, and the energetics of the points and the meridians. But you don't even have to know necessarily that knowledge. But if you just kind of allow or embrace that it is working, or that it is cool, or just believe it, or, well, that's the thing. Chinese medicine is not a religion, so you don't have to believe it. and you know, it does work on animals and they don't believe it, so it is like real science. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, so I just kind of realized about 10-ish years ago that because I was always like, oh, I don't have time for a class, or I don't have money for a, you know, felt like I didn't have money or time or resources for maybe like going to classes, or if I did do longer classes, they didn't make me feel good actually. And so I just really love that I found that for myself, like short things to help my body tension be less. Like right now, I'm going to switch hands because if it's getting a little sore, then switch. Like when you have the choice, when you have the opportunity. So that's it. That's it for today. Just, I'm happy to be sharing, and this way of videoing stuff is, I think, super cool.